Dr. Kasonso. How can the government mitigate against the impact of Chinese debt, restructuring debt standard?
That is a very important question, Robbie. You know, the story of China and Zambia is the story of an all-weather friend. In this current moment with Zambia and China, that story has become more than the story of an all-weather friend. It has become the story of an all-weather friend who also wants to aspire to be the only friend. The only friend. When our new government went and secured that IMF deal, that original proposal was contained in the Chinese steps to have the economy, the debt restructured under the Patriotic Front. So now that has been secured, but there appears to me a shifting of goalposts and also certain expectations being overtaken by geopolitical issues in the global economy. So the best way in these circumstances is to talk to China directly. But I think that government, when they are talking to the Chinese directly or whatever discussions they're having, they don't come up here and tell us that we are doing this. But I do think that they have talked to China, and China is sticking their foot in the sand on this issue. And the economy is not going anywhere without Chinese cooperation on the debt restructuring. So the original plan appears to be in limbo, and that is affecting investor confidence, and that is also affecting the performance. In turn, that affects the performance of the currency. So there are three ways that the government could try to go about this. If they are not getting anywhere with Chinese debt restructuring, they should make an earnest attempt to refinance a significant portion of the Chinese money. Let me first be upfront and honest. The money we borrowed from China for the construction projects has already gone back to China. It didn't stay in the economy, and it didn't beef up the economy. It went back to China. Why? Because those constructions were done by the Chinese themselves, and the materials were imported by the Chinese company themselves. So the participation of that money in expanding the economy of Zambia is not that significant, apart from having the structures, because the actual liquidity, the actual money already went back to China. So it's a situation where China is holding the country hostage because of maybe because of geopolitical issues. But in the first place, they had indicated that they would like Zambia to be placed under an IMF program so that they can restructure debts. That's the program the new Dawn government inherited. But the fact that they are standing off means that that plan needs to have a backup plan. The first step is to try and refinance a significant portion of the Chinese debt so that paying the Chinese or not negotiating with the Chinese does not continue to hold the country hostage. You're bringing in other stakeholders. The second thing that can be done in that standoff is to scale down, certain aspects of the Chinese debt. For example, if you developed if you built the Kenneth Kaunda using significant Chinese debt, hand it over to the Chinese. Hand it over to the Chinese for a period of time, and so they can recover the money if it was there. But the way we have seen that the way Chinese money were, the Chinese, the yuan bonds were at a higher rate than the value of the assets they built. So even in that case, even if you handed over the assets, you still continue to owe them. And then the third solution is monitor other political players in the system. For example, the Chinese could be holding out that if they could damage the Zambian economy, then the players, the people that they used to negotiate these loans with, can come back and hand over the rest of the assets to the Chinese, to them, as originally agreed, without the need for the restructuring. So the incentives, China is in a strong position, and they could influence a few political players in the country that once the economy has been damaged, then they can stake on the change of government to have the way